There's gonna be more architecture later in this video, so stick with the whole show to the end, folks. While showing the splendors of Central Park in New York City, I'll explain some illuminating statistics of the many languages from other geographical regions so that we may try to feel more calm and relaxed about accepting this modern multilingual nation. In the United States, the number of people who speak a language other than English at home has nearly tripled over the last 3 decades, increasing from 23.1 million to 67.8 million. According to the 2019 American Community Survey by the Census Bureau, more than 350 languages are spoken across the country, making it one of the world's most linguistically diverse nations. In this article, we'll explore the 12 most spoken languages in the United States. 12 Portuguese. Today, there are over 845,000 Portuguese speakers in the United States, making it the 12th most spoken language after English. The Portuguese-speaking community is composed of immigrants from both Portugal and Brazil since the 1960s. Many Portuguese immigrants have settled along the coast of Massachusetts, where they could continue their traditional fishing activities. Besides Massachusetts, Portuguese is most commonly spoken in Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Utah. 11. Hindi. Hindi is the most widely spoken Indian language in the United States, with more than 890,000 people speaking it. Hindi belongs to the Indo-European language family and has been included on the U.S. State Department's list of critical languages due to strategic commercial interests in South Asia. Hindi-speaking Indians began immigrating to North America in the early 19th century. The community has primarily settled in large cities such as New York City, Washington, D.C., San Francisco, Los Angeles, and Chicago. Number 10, Russian. There are currently almost 950,000 Russian speakers in the United States. Did you know that Russian is one of the 2 official languages aboard the International Space Station? NASA astronauts typically take Russian language courses to communicate with their Russian counterparts. Another well-known Russian-speaking community is in New York's Brighton Beach neighborhood, often referred to as Little Odessa. Cultural events, festivals, and markets featuring traditional Russian foods, music, and crafts are common sights here. Los Angeles is another city where Russian is regularly used. Number 9, Korean. Over the past few decades, the number of Korean speakers in the United States has grown significantly, with nearly 1,100,000 people now speaking Korean. Los Angeles is home to the largest Koreatown in the country, and many residents in other major cities speak Korean at home, helping to maintain and promote the heritage of this Asian culture in the United States. Number 8, Arabic. With more than 1.2 million speakers, Arabic is the 8th most spoken language in our country. Arabic is spoken in immigrant communities from countries such as Egypt, Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, and Yemen. These communities are most prominent in states like California, New York, and Michigan, where Arabic is commonly heard in homes and community centers. Number 7, German. German is widely spoken in states with high populations of German ancestry, such as Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Texas. When including Yiddish, Pennsylvania Dutch, and other West Germanic languages, there are over 1.45 million German speakers in the United States. Cities like Fredericksburg and New Braunfels, Texas, were founded by German immigrants and continue to celebrate their heritage with festivals such as Oktoberfest. In Pennsylvania, a large number of Pennsylvania Dutch speakers, predominantly among the Amish and Mennonite communities, speak this German dialect, which is not, as one might expect, Dutch. Number 6, Vietnamese. The number of Vietnamese speakers in the United States is similar to that of the previous language on this list, with more than 1.5 million people speaking the language of this Southeast Asian country. In recent decades, the number of Vietnamese immigrants has been increasing exponentially. Most have settled in California, followed by Texas, Florida, Washington, and Georgia. 5. Tagalog. Despite being the fifth most spoken language in the United States, Tagalog is often overlooked. For those who have never heard of it, Tagalog is one of the official languages of the Philippines. A significant number of Filipino immigrants have settled in the United States since the early 19th century. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, there are currently more than 1.7 million Tagalog speakers. 38% of Filipinos in the United States live in California, with relatively large concentrations also in Hawaii and Texas. Number 4, French. If we include Patois, Cajun, Haitian, and Louisiana Creole, a hybrid of French and various African languages, French is the fourth most widely spoken language in the United States. The French influence, which dates back to the 17th century, is evident in a wide variety of American English words and phrases. Today, there are nearly 2.1 million French speakers in the country. Number 3, Chinese. The Chinese language, including its different variants such as Mandarin, Cantonese, and Hokkien, contributes significantly to the cultural diversity of the United States. Although the gap between the second and third most spoken languages in the country is considerable, the number of people who speak Chinese is still representative, with approximately 3.5 million Chinese speakers across the country. The greatest influence of this culture can be found in states with the highest concentrations of Chinese immigrants, such as New York and California. Number 2, Spanish. Spanish is the second most spoken language in the United States and one of the fastest growing languages in the country. This is no surprise, as approximately 19% of the total population is of Hispanic origin. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, more than 40 million people speak Spanish in addition to English in the United States. Hispanic communities are found throughout the nation, with the largest concentrations in California, Texas, Florida, and New York. Number 1, English. Although it's not surprising that English is the most widely spoken language in the United States, it is still not recognized as an official language. However, more than half of the 50 states have passed laws granting it official language status. English speakers make up a large percentage of the U.S. population, with approximately 78% speaking only English. American English is also incredibly rich, composed of dozens of regional dialects with distinct grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation. Next up, the big hoo-ha about Hollywood leaders opposing the Paramount-Warner merger in an open letter. In a significant development within Hollywood, over 1,000 industry professionals, including notable figures like Denis Villeneuve and Kristen Stewart, have expressed their strong opposition to the proposed merger between Paramount and Warner Brothers Discovery. This coalition, which includes filmmakers, actors, and writers, published an open letter voicing concerns about the potential impact of the $111 billion deal on jobs and creative opportunities in an already contracting film industry. The letter, which can be found on blockthemerger.com, argues that the merger could exacerbate job losses and diminish the diversity of films available to audiences. The signatories believe that the consolidation of two major studios would reduce the number of significant U.S. film studios to just 4, potentially leading to fewer creative opportunities and a more homogenized film landscape. They assert that this trend would ultimately harm both the industry and the public. The merger, which follows months of negotiations and a competing bid from Netflix, is pending a shareholder vote and regulatory approval. David Ellison, CEO of Paramount Skydance, has pledged to maintain the operations of both studios as separate entities and aims to release a combined total of 30 films annually. However, He acknowledges that the merger will likely result in job cuts due to overlapping roles. The letter was organized by a coalition of advocacy groups, including the Committee for the First Amendment, and has garnered signatures from a diverse range of industry professionals. One signatory, Damon Lindelof, highlighted the potential consequences of such mergers, noting that they often lead to fewer productions and job opportunities. As the industry awaits further developments regarding the merger, the open letter underscores the ongoing debate over consolidation in Hollywood and its implications for the future of filmmaking. In summer 2023, Scandinavian-based Nobis Hospitality Group opened a five-star contemporary luxury hotel in Palma de Mallorca, Spain. Nobis Hotel Palma offers 37 rooms and suites, an in-house restaurant and bar, a sun terrace with lounges and a relaxing spa, all designed by award-winning Swedish firm Wingards. The property is housed in a historical building dating all the way back to the 12th century, ideally positioned at Carré de les Capucines in a peaceful part of the charming old town. Parametric architecture, old stone, new touches, a historic structure is reactivated. Through precise steel interventions within its original stone fabric, layers of time remain visible as contemporary insertions introduce clarity, contrast, and spatial continuity, balancing preservation with transformation. This project really highlights how thoughtful modern interventions can breathe new life into historic spaces without erasing their past. A park dedicated to eternal memory of Queen Elizabeth's lifelong commitment to public service, designed by Foster and Partners, was revealed to coincide with the 100th anniversary of her birth. The Commonwealth Wind sculpture is a new abstract work by Yinka Shonibare. There's a new cast glass bridge inspired by Queen Mary's fringe tiara, which Elizabeth wore on her wedding day. Norman Foster designed a compass to provide a point of reference for the nations of the Commonwealth. Designed by Labwork and completed in 2020 in Golf Links, New Delhi, the 100,000 brick house is a 12,500 square foot residence where craftsmanship, narrative, and parametric logic converge. Clad in a sculptural exterior of handmade bricks, the house reflects the movement of the sun through shifting shadows, poems embedded within, and softened edges that house plants, water, and light. Rows of bricks were first hand-shaped, then converted to a parametric software, and finally constructed by master stonemasons, resulting in an architecture that undergoes a meticulous masonry process. Inside, spiral staircases, an open-air elevator, and playful details guide movement between layered social and private spaces, balancing humor, joy, and profound material intelligence. The Serpentine Sackler Gallery, an extension completed in 2013, one of Zaha Hadid architect's first permanent buildings in central London, presented an exhibition of early paintings and the rarely seen drawings of the pioneering and visionary architect. For Hadid, painting was a design tool and abstraction, an investigative structure for imagining architecture and its relationship to the world we live in. Many of Hadid's paintings preempt the potential of digital and virtual reality. Dame Zaha Hadid was born into a wealthy Iraqi family in Baghdad. She is recognized as a key figure in the architecture of the late 20th and early 21st centuries. She attained additional citizenship in the United Kingdom 1976 to 77. Her fourth-year student design project was a conceptual work based on Malevich's Tectonic for a hotel on the Hungerford Bridge over the Thames. Zaha created a lot of conceptual projects before she realized any constructed works on actual building sites. In 78 to 9, there was the extension of the Binnenhof complex for Dutch Parliament accommodation in The Hague with Rem Koolhaas and Elia Zengelis. Then, 79 to 80, the Irish Prime Minister's residence in Phoenix Park, a state function room for the Taoiseach. She won a gold medal for an unrealized project at 59 Eaton Place. For years, nobody had faith in Zaha Hadid, but she became the female Mozart of architecture. She was one of the brightest women architects of our time. Her name can be translated from Arabic as glorious. She refused to see things in an ordinary way. Her projects were called impossible to build and insane. She lost bids for 17 years, but she became the woman who totally changed the world of architecture. She wanted to become a mathematician and even studied science at the American University of Beirut, but she realized that she loved shapes, not numbers, and shifted her concentration accordingly. Zaha met the famous Dutch architect Rem Koolhaas in London, and he became her mentor. Despite the amazing number of her ideas before the beginning of the 90s, not a single building based on her blueprints was built. Zaha's projects won huge international competitions, but they remained only on paper. In 1982, it seemed that she got lucky. One of Hadid's projects was approved, a sports club in the mountains of Hong Kong. The international competition's first prize was awarded for spectacular drawings and paintings, catapulting Hadid to worldwide architectural fame. But 1 year later, due to complications over the transfer of sovereignty over Hong Kong, the customer cancelled the construction and the project was not built. Using the money she won in various competitions, Zaha decided to open her own office. That would become a real empire 30 years later. Zaha didn't give up, and thanks to her persistence and strong nature, she continued to create her crazy but beautiful projects. She constructed her first building in 1993 at the age of 44. It was a small fire department for a Vitra furniture company. It was something completely new in the world of architecture at the time, as it was impressively shaped with curved and bent concrete slabs looking as if they froze while dancing. One comment was, it was not great for fire trucks to turn and move around at speed, and also it used to house families of firefighters, and they did not enjoy the space due to its unpredictable nature. Eventually, the local authorities built a new fire station closer to the factory, and the one inside the factory dismissed and transformed into a tourist attraction. Hadid was a big fan of Kazimir Malevich's art and Russian avant-garde art in general. In her early projects, you can see the obvious connection with Russian constructivism. For example, if you compare her famous Vitra fire department with the works of constructivists, you can see the obvious similarities. When Vitra repurposed the Hadid design from fire station, they turned to hosting events and exhibitions. Frank Gehry came to design a Vitra design museum. Vitra House was designed by Swiss firm Herzog and de Meuron, a flagship showroom store distinctive as stacked gabled house shapes, unveiled in 2010. There's a quote from Kazimir Malevich from 1924 which influenced Zaha very strongly, saying, "The architect is by nature always abstract, but life sets him the task to build his abstract forms, situate them in such a way that useful space for life may form itself amidst them." That same year, another building by Zaha design was built, an IBA house. The local feminist community helped her with this. They were fighting for the presence of women in the modern architecture of Germany. This design fused housing block and corner tower to amalgamate residential, commercial, and social program elements within a unique structure. I will go on to show all of Zaha's built, realized works in brief chronology, with a few elucidations into some select renowned buildings. The 2001 car park and terminus, Hohenheim North, Strasbourg, France, encourages people to leave their cars outside the city in specially designed car parks and then take a tram to the more inner parts of the city. Many parts of One North was designed and master planned by Zaha Hadid architects, a subzone of Queenstown, Singapore, first developed as the country's research and development and high technology cluster. It's located near educational and research institutes. Star Wars inspired Sandcrawler is an 8-story building owned by by Lucas Real Estate Singapore and home to Lucasfilm, as well as Walt Disney and ESPN. Star Vista is another awesome building in the complex. After the Singapore master planning, the Bergisel ski jump was built next year in Innsbruck, Austria in 2002. According to Zaha, the true interest in her works appeared after she took part in the construction of the Contemporary Art Center in Cincinnati. Aside from that, it was the first museum in the US that was designed by a woman, and you could definitely tell it was Hadid's work. The walls that were on top of each other, the sharp corners and the unexpected shapes. Ordrup Guard Museum, Copenhagen, 2001 to 2005. Central building of the BMW plant, Leipzig, 2005. The Fano Science Center in Wolfsburg, 2005. Maggie Centre, Victoria Hospital, Kirkcaldy, Scotland, 2006. Pavilion for Viña Tondonia Winery in Haro La Rioja, Spain, 2001 to 6. Lowen House Station of Hungerbergbahn Funicular in Innsbruck, 2007. Expo Zaragoza, 2008. Pavilion Puente Visto de la Torre del Agua, 2008. La Tour CMA CGM de Marseille. Ingresso del Museo Maxi a Roma is an example of how many points were getting criticized. Experts think that it is not suitable for exhibiting art. The thing is, the building is a long, curved, one-floor maze, and it is hard to place any objects there. Besides, the museum turned out to be so huge that even the big paintings were kind of lost inside of it, so the Maxi building is a monument of its own. Guangzhou Opera House, 2005 to 2010. Evelyn Grace Academy, Shakespeare Road, Brixton, London, 2006 to 2010. The true triumph for Hadid came in 2004. For her project for the London Aquatic Centre, she was awarded a Pritzker Prize. Zaha became the first woman ever to win this award. It's an indoor facility built for the 2012 Summer Olympics with two 50-meter swimming pools and a 25-meter diving pool. The construction contract was awarded to Balfour Beatty in April 2008. Original estimate £242 million. Cost increased when converting the facility for public use. The centre was completed in July 2011 at a final cost of £269 million. Aerial view of the Olympic Park showing the aquatic centre and the water polo arena. After that, Hadid became one of the most popular and trendy architects in the world, but this also had a negative effect on her. The thing was that soon critics started to say that she was too interested in self-expression rather than making her buildings functional. So after building the London Aquatic Centre, some viewers in the top rows complained that they couldn't see what was happening in the pools of the arena because of the pretentious ceiling. Photo from outside the front of the Riverside Museum in Glasgow from 2007 to 11. The famous architect managed to construct two significant buildings in Russia. The first one was the futuristic mansion of Vladislav Doronin near the Rubleva-Uspensko highway, and the second one was the Moscow Business Center Dominion Tower. In her future work, Zaha preferred avant-garde and futurism styles. Picture shows Central Bank of Iraq Tower, Baghdad during construction 2011. The famous Heydar Aliyev Center in Baku cost hundreds of millions of dollars. In 2007, Zaha Hadid was appointed as the design architect of the Heydar Aliyev Center, Azerbaijan, after a competition. It's a 57,500 square meter building complex in Baku, noted for its distinctively flowing, curved style that eschews sharp angles. The main contractor, Dia Holdings, is owned by actors that are linked to Azerbaijan's ruling Aliyev family's network of offshore companies. The center is named after the first secretary of Soviet Azerbaijan, 1969 to 1982, and president of Azerbaijan Republic from October 1993 to October 2003. 1923, died 2003. Being one of the most recognized architectural landmarks worldwide, the center houses a conference hall, auditorium, a gallery hall, and a museum. The The project is intended to play an integral role in the intellectual life of the city. It's designed to offer an aspirational platform for effective communication, engagement, and interaction. Located close to the city center, the site plays a pivotal role in the redevelopment of Baku. The Haydar Aliyev Center was nominated for awards in 2013 at both the World Architecture Festival and the Biennale Inside Festival. In 2014, the center won the Design Museum's Design of the Year award, despite concerns about the site's human rights record. This makes Hadid the first woman to win the top prize in that competition. I have quite a lot more prepared on Zaha, but it's not ready for this week, so I'm starting next week with the works I had already assembled. I hope you appreciate my diligence. Like, subscribe, and comment intelligently. Have a great week.